Alright, so this should be working. Alright, here we go. By the way, sorry for, recording it like this. I couldn't think of a better way to do it. I could have maybe downloaded the video and then recorded the audio and synced it up and edited it really nicely, but I feel like that's not really the point, you know? Because it's an audition for the fucking voice, not for video editing, so let's just, let's get started. Oh, also, shit, what was I gonna say? Fuck. Yeah, it's gonna be a little strange to cast this since I know what happens in my gameplay because it's my gameplay. But regardless, I'll do my best to just, you know, talk about things as they come up. So let's fucking go. So the match begins between Bear2 and TV. Pretty exciting. Both pretty good players, both around the 150 / sub 150 level. Gets off to a pretty good start with tutorial. Both players pretty much at the same pace. Falling slightly behind Bear, but looks like he's caught up pretty much almost exactly. They're at almost the exact same level right now. Oh, but it looks like is choking quite a bit on Chimney there. Oh my god, that's like an entire split behind now. Meanwhile, Bear is making their way promptly across all the way to Furniture now already. Still riding the rail as we speak. Still pretty close though, but Bear is ahead with a slight lead. So far, so good. Everyone seems to be making relatively average plays. A little bit of chokes on Orange for Bear and a little bit of chokes on Furniture for But the distance between them has remained mostly the same. Maybe catching up just a small amount. Pretty good Orange on Hum's side, a little bit clunky on the church there. Meanwhile, Bear manages to get the hat jump first try and anvil first try. Really good pace on Bear's part. Is still struggling a little bit on top of the rectory. Let's see how hat jump goes. Manages to get it, a little bit clunky. Meanwhile, Bear finishes up boulders and moves on to their first snake. Is doing boulders. Let's see how he does. All right, pretty fast, pretty quick. Good pace there. And it's on to the second run through. Bear seems to have a little bit of trouble getting over the first tree in tutorial, but is on their way again. Also choking a small amount. Oh, but it looks like Bear has fallen, and has now taken a small lead against Bear, which has been instantly lost. Wow, looks like they're pretty much neck and neck here. Very much anyone's game at this point. Extremely close match. Both are at Chimney again. Both are choking slightly. A little bit more than Bear. Chokes construction a little bit while Bear gets a pretty clean run through of that, giving Bear yet again a slight edge over does a pretty clean slide skip. Bear struggling a little bit on Furniture as well as It's been pretty interesting so far, honestly. Very close match. Very neck and neck. You can tell these two players are very similar in skill level. Bear just finishing up Orange there while is starting it. Bear, for the most part, has been roughly a split ahead of for most of the match. Seems like Bear is having a little bit of trouble on hat jump here, giving a little bit of an opportunity for to gain some time back. Although is also struggling a small amount on hat jump. Bear manages to fall off anvil for a second there. Oh, and he falls off again, and has once again taken the lead just by a small bit. Oh my god, has fallen off boulders again. This is the second time during a tournament that has choked boulders. Really quite astounding stuff, honestly, and that puts Bear back in the lead by roughly an entire split once again. This really has been quite back and forth. Oh my god, it's interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see how this finally plays out. Bear doing pretty well on tutorial, pretty clean there, and making their way up Chimney. Very clean plays on Bear's part for this run. Is choking tutorial a little bit, struggling on that first tree, but he does get over it, albeit a little slow. Bear struggles a little bit on the metal beam, but you know they get past it and finish Chimney and on their way to construction. Oh, but looks like they've fallen off construction. That gives him a little bit of a chance to catch up. But Bear is still slightly in the lead, just finishing up slide skip. Right now, both players seem to be making pretty fair plays. Nothing too interesting, nothing too out of the ordinary. Bear finishing up furniture, and is close behind. Let's see how Orange goes, because Orange is always the make or break point for every run. Well, one of the many make or break points, really. Looks like Bear is once again slightly ahead. Both are performing pretty cleanly at this point. Not many mistakes on either part's side. Although Bear does seem to be struggling slightly on the hat jump, but does get it. Oh, and they once again fall into the pit at Anvil. But, you know, again, a speedy recovery. Although a bit of a slow transition onto boulders. Oh, and they fall off that's 2 falls from boulders in the same match from different players. This is astounding, really. You don't see this very often. Boulders are generally not too tricky a spot for speedrunners, but it looks like both of these runners are having issues today. Takes a slight lead due to that. Just mere seconds ahead of Bear. It's really anyone's game on the final run here. It's going to come down to this last performance. Both players seeming to choke tutorial just a bit. Does manage to get through it a little bit faster than Bear does, maintaining their small lead, although is choking slightly during the chimney ascent. Both players are almost at the exact same spot right now, just like a hair ahead. Finally, doesn't choke chimney for once, and makes their way up construction. Meanwhile, Bear is having a little bit of a rough time on construction yet again, but is very close behind still. Extremely easy to catch up and close the small distance. Looks like is having a pretty clean furniture run, except at the end there a little bit, as well as Bear. Now it's is approaching Orange. Let's see how that goes. Seems like it's going pretty cleanly, a little bit slow, but no falls, which is the big, the big point at the end of the day. Same with Bear, catching up a slight bit with a somewhat faster pace on Orange. Although is now moving towards the rectory and getting ready to make the hat jump. Sets up, takes a bit of a slow hit, but manages to fail it, and fails it again. Both players are almost the exact same place now. Manages to overtake the jump and moves on to boulders. Meanwhile, Bear sets themselves up on Anvil and falls into the pit at Anvil yet again. Seems like Bear is really struggling with that area today. Manages to make it. Let's see how they fare with the bucket. Ooh, very clean, very clean. Good performance there. Bear also approaches the bucket. Let's see if they can use these final moments to catch up. Ooh, a bit of a choke there. It really looks like it's going to come down to how TV performs on space to see if Bear can pull this back or not. Bear also struggling just a little bit on Ice Mountain. Makes their way up tower. No falls yet. Looks pretty good. Although, oh my god, has somehow choked themselves onto a miniature bad ending on tower. This could easily put Bear back. Oh, but it looks like he's escaped, and pretty good launch with that. And it looks like that will bring it home for just seconds ahead of Bear. Although Bear did manage to scuff their launch up just a little bit. What a close match, though. Seriously, one of the closest we've ever seen. Very interesting to watch. A good effort on both players' sides. Seriously. Let's just see Bear finish this up really quickly. A little bit of a slow loading time there. You always hate to see that. And yeah, that's it. That's all I got. That better have recorded, because I'm not doing that again.